And welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is my review of Mononoke the Movie, Chapter 2, The Ashes of Rage. Obviously, we've had the original way back when, and this is the continuation, sort of remake of it. The first film sent anime lovers into this bizarre world that is an amalgamation of somebody's acid trip while they're animeing. It is such a vibrant mess that it's as if Picasso thought of an anime and this is what happened on screen. And so the first time a lot of people were getting to see this style of animation was very much in your face, and it was hard to take in everything. And for the most part, the story itself was fine, but it's kind of took the back burner of the art that was being portrayed on screen, which is this mix and array of animation sequences that is almost like painting over painting, with characters that are trying to stand in the forefront, but because so much is going on all the time in the background, in the forefront, with a barrage of colors, it was hard to focus on the story. This time, there is still that in this Chapter 2 movie, but the focus on the story really takes the forefront here. There's a barrage of colors when we get to the climax, the big battle sequences, but we earn that in story. And there's this nice balance now through the score, which is understated but very much kind of setting the tone of what's coming. The political nature again of who's allowed in this particular story, men not being allowed where these women are. It's a continuation of that story, even with the same sort of characters that we've had from movie one, but it leans more into the folk horror this time round, which I really liked. And because that story is hand animation drawn, a mixture of what's going on in the background is always entertaining, but can be hard to focus on. There is a balance though this time. They focus on the characters, and then the movement comes in the action. So when we get to that amalgamation of big battle sequences that there are between demons and Catcher, and trying to fetch the rules that must be applied to even remove the sword from the hilt, when we get to those moments, it does go big, it goes loud, it goes crazy. And if you are on something while watching this movie, I do feel for you, because you're going to think you're having a bad trip. However, this is really well done. It doesn't outstay its welcome. It's an hour and 14 minutes long. There is more to come in this. So instead of doing whole animation series, they're doing little bite-sized chunks. So it continues to be all about the exorcism, using the exorcism sword, but all these things, all these criteria have to be met. And because we know of what has happened in the first movie, we can very much then get stuck into the meat of the story, so they don't have to have too much setup. In fact, they lean quite heavily on what has happened in the first movie, so if you haven't seen the first one, I definitely recommend going to watch that. But because we know what we're in for, we can definitely jump into feudal Japan, malevolent spirits called Mononoke to slay. Once we get into the story and the crux, it's a mixture of that political machinations with those spirits that are wreaking havoc, and then it's just chaos on screen with that color. It's definitely worth a one-time watch, even if you're not into this sort of animation style, because you want to see real craft put together with score, voice work that I definitely recommend listening to in that original language, and then reading if you can. But the dubbing itself is also very well done. I think this is for all anime lovers. If you love the craft, then give this a go. This is a new part, but definitely watch part 1 if you want to get the full understanding of what's actually going on in this world. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.